When you manage the same domain for years, you'll eventually end up with old web pages that no longer seem to serve a purpose. Before deleting these old pages, you should take a moment to consider the relevance of the page. Don't delete the page until you're sure it no longer benefits you or your visitors. Here are 5 questions that you should ask yourself before deleting an old web page. Keeping old web pages could be beneficial for SEO purposes. You may still gain traffic from these websites, so don't immediately delete an old page simply because it was created years ago. Follow along with this video and ask yourself each of the following questions. First, you should ask yourself if the page contains any useful content. Even if the page is outdated, if it provides details or information that's still relevant to a current product or service, you may want to keep it. You can still internally link to current pages and continue drawing traffic from the old page. But if the page contains no useful content, then move on to the next set of questions. If there's no useful content on the page, then ask yourself if the page offers any value to your visitors. Are there any links, plugins, maps, or data that your visitors may find useful? If so, you should keep the page. Next, ask yourself if the page contains products or services that you still carry. If you answer yes, then you may want to keep the page around as you may still get traffic or an occasional sale. With pages that contain outdated products or services, make sure you update the page to mention that the items are no longer available. The next question to ask yourself is whether or not the page still receives regular traffic. If you still get a lot of traffic, then you may be able to direct that traffic to more current pages. You can include a note at the top of the page directing visitors to an updated product or service page, or you could add internal links to newer content through the body of the page. The final question to ask yourself is if the page has backlinks. If a lot of other sites link to the old web page, you should still make sure you have a page to redirect visitors. You don't want to lose those backlinks if you decide to delete the page. So after asking all of these questions, you should know whether or not to delete an old, outdated web page. Basically, if it contains no useful content or value to your visitors, then you don't need to keep it around. But before deleting the site, there are a couple steps that you may want to take. You should set up a redirect if you want to benefit from existing website traffic and backlinks. When the site is outdated and offers no value, you can get rid of it, but you need a 301 HTTP redirect to benefit from the SEO of the page that you're deleting. If you decide to keep the page, you should think about updating it. You don't need to rewrite the content, but you should have a few internal links that take visitors to current pages. For example, when discussing a product or feature of a service, you can link to a product or service that you currently carry. Remember these simple tips before you delete your old web page. You don't want to delete a page that still provides some type of value to you or your customers. Just take a few minutes to ask yourself the question presented in this video and then either delete and use a redirect or keep it and add some internal links. Hopefully you learned something new today. Remember to check back each week for updated videos and lessons. Or click on the subscribe button below to get more of these videos as they're released.